In our last episode,
we've been ambushed by a Sith battle fleet. Now hurry up! We have to find Bastila. We have to make sure she makes it off the ship alive. I'll try to hold them off. You get to the escape pods. Go!
There's only one active escape pod left. Come on, we can hide out on the planet below.
crash landing on the surface of Taris has left us badly injured. Before we slip into unconsciousness, we can hear, thanks to cut content, Carth busily trying to heal us, saying,
"Whoa, hold on. Don't try and get up yet. You were smashed up pretty bad when we crash landed here on Taris. Don't worry, we should be safe here in this apartment. I gave you something to help you sleep. Just get some rest and let the Koltopaks do their job."
We awaken from our lucid dream of Jedi and Sith battling and are disoriented. Looking around, we see we're in a Taris apartment, but where, we're unsure, to which Carth says,
"Good to see you up instead of thrashing about in your sleep. You must have been having one hell of a nightmare. I was wondering if you were ever going to wake up. I'm Carth, one of the Republic soldiers from the Endar Spire. I was with you in the escape pod. Do you remember?"
"No, I remember. I had a strange dream, like a vision or something."
"I'm not surprised. You took a serious blow to the head. You're probably having all kinds of strange dreams. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Well, you've been slipping in and out of consciousness for a couple of days now, so I imagine you're pretty confused about things, but try not to worry. We're safe. At least for the moment. We're in an abandoned apartment on the planet of Taris. You were banged up pretty bad when our escape pod crashed, but luckily I wasn't seriously hurt. I was able to drag you away from our crash site and all the confusion, and I stumbled into this abandoned apartment. By the time the Sith arrived on the scene, we were long gone."
It should be noted, a lot of the dialogue does branch to the same response, and as such, I will be covering the lines that are converging as single bulk responses so that we don't miss anything. An example being, "The Sith? So are we going to wait here for the Republic to rescue us? I guess I owe you my life. Thanks."
"You don't have to thank me. I've never abandoned anyone on a mission, and I'm not about to start now. Besides, I'm gonna need your help. Taris is under Sith control. Their fleet is orbiting the planet, they've declared martial law, and they've imposed a planet-wide quarantine. But I've been in worse spots. I saw in your service records that you understand a remarkable number of alien languages. That's pretty rare in a raw recruit, but it should come in handy while we're stranded on a foreign world. There is no way the Republic will be able to get anyone through the Sith blockade to help us. If we're gonna find Bastila and get off this planet, we can't rely on anybody but ourselves."
Bastila? She's the one from the Endar Spire, right? Why is it so important to find Bastila?
That smack to your head did more damage than I thought. Bastila's a Jedi. She was with the strike team that killed Darth Revan, Malak's Sith master. Bastila's the key to the whole Republic war effort. The Sith must have found out that she was on the Endar Spire and set an ambush for us in this system. I believe Bastila was on one of the escape pods that crashed down here in Taris. For the sake of the Republic war effort, we have to try and find her.
Forget it. I'm not risking my life to try and save her.
I don't think you understand the situation. Well, we can't hide on this planet forever. Eventually the Sith will find us, and trust me, you don't want that. Getting off this world isn't going to be easy. We're probably going to need Bastila's help. Not to mention that without her, the whole Republic war effort is doomed.
How do you even know Bastila is still alive?
I don't, but Bastila's young, and she has a powerful command of the Force. We survived the crash landing, so I'm willing to bet that she may have too. Besides, what's the alternative? I mean, if she's dead, then no one can stop Malak and his Sith from wiping out the Republic, and I'd rather operate on the assumption that she survived.
If Bastila's a Jedi, she can probably look after herself. And if not, what do you suggest we do next?
Bastila's gonna need our help. Many of Darth Malak's followers have mastered the dark side of the Force, and the Sith have already killed more than their share of Jedi in this war. I doubt anyone's specifically looking for us anymore. We're not that important. But if we're careful, we can move about the planet without attracting notice, a luxury Bastila won't have. She's gonna have half the Sith fleet looking for her. They know how vital she is to the war effort. And Bastila's no ordinary Jedi. She has a rare gift the Jedi call battle meditation. Bastila's power can influence entire armies.
Battle meditation? What is that? And if Bastila is so great, how come the Sith managed to blow up the Endar Spire?
Through the Force, Bastila can inspire her allies with confidence and make her enemies lose their will to fight. And often that's all it takes to tip the balance in a battle. But there are limits to what she can do. From what I understand of her ability, it requires great concentration and focus to maintain her battle meditation. The attack on the Endar Spire happened so fast, she probably never even had a chance to use her power. I'm guessing she barely got out alive, and now she's trapped here just as we are. The whole planet is under quarantine. No ships can land or take off. So if Bastila's going to escape Taris, she's going to need our help, and we'll probably need hers.
So, what's in this for me if I help you out?
You mean besides a chance to get off this planet before the Sith find you? Do you have any idea what the Sith do to prisoners of war?
I think I'll take my chances on my own.
Don't be a fool. You're not getting off this world without help. You can't hide here forever. Do you have any idea what will happen when the Sith find you?
If you want my help, you better make it worth my while.
Oh, I get it. Never mind that the Sith will destroy the Republic and ravage the galaxy. You're only in this for the credits. Don't worry, the Republic pays its mercenaries well. You help me find Bastila, and they'll make it more than worth your while, I'm sure. Plus, it might be your only chance to get off Taris.
Okay, you made your point. I'll help you out. If it means getting off this planet, I guess I can help you find Bastila.
Good. We're gonna need to work together if we're gonna survive.
Do you have any idea where we should start looking for Bastila?
While you were out, I did some scouting around. There are reports of a couple of escape pods crashing down into the Undercity. It's probably a good place to start. But the Undercity's a dangerous place. We don't want to go there unprepared, and it won't do Bastila any good if we go and get ourselves killed.
We now have a solid lead on the location of the missing escape pod and presumably Bastila down in the Undercity. However, this is also a great time to take a moment and ask Carth a few questions about the planet and himself.
I'll tell you whatever I can, though I don't know how much help it'll be.
Well, what can you tell me about this planet we're on?
Taris was once a magnificent planet-wide metropolis of towering skyscrapers. But that was a long time ago. The upper city where the rich citizens live is still pretty safe. If it wasn't for the Sith occupation and the planet-wide quarantine, it might not even be a bad place to live. But farther down, things have degenerated. The lower city is nothing but a slum overrun by swoop bike gangs, waging a never-ending war for control. And the undercity is... well, it's even worse. The lowest level of Taris is a wasteland overrun by rat ghouls, mindless, diseased mutants that attack on sight. I've already entered all this info into your datapad journal.
Wow, that's a lot to take in. Never-ending class wars, mutant rat ghouls, and the Sith running the show. I'd like to know some more about you, Carth.
I understand why you want to know more about me. I kind of get the feeling we'll be spending a lot of time together over the next while. But this isn't really the best time for long introductions. We should stay focused on the task at hand. There'll be a time for that later.
Sensing our time is running short and Carth clearly doesn't want to talk about it, we ask him, what do you know about Malak, then, and the Sith?
Everything I know about Malak is pretty much common knowledge. He escaped the trap that killed Darth Revan, his Sith master. With Revan's death, Malak became the new Dark Lord. It's obvious that Malak's a ruthless tyrant who'll crush anyone who stands in his way, just like Revan was. Experience has shown that the Sith won't stop until the Republic lies in ruins. Malak and his Sith don't respect anything except raw, brutal power. It's hard to imagine how someone who used to be a Jedi could become such a monster.
A Jedi? What do you mean?
Malak and Revan were once both part of the Jedi Order, but they were young and headstrong, and against the wishes of the Council, they went to battle the Mandalorians on the Outer Rim. Something happened out there. Something corrupted them and drew them over to the dark side. Or maybe there was something rotten inside them all along. I don't know. They formed an army of ex-Republic soldiers and Jedi who'd fallen to the dark side, with Revan at their head, until Revan was killed by Bastila's Jedi strike team. But even that didn't slow the Sith down. Malak just stepped in and assumed Revan's role. He took control of the Sith Armada and resumed the bloody conquest of the Outer Worlds.
Sounds like Malak and the Sith had the right idea.
How can you say that? The Sith are butchers. Soldiers, civilians, they don't care who they kill, even children. Right now the Republic is the only thing keeping Malak's brutal fist from crushing the entire galaxy. And it won't be long until even the Republic falls to the Sith fleet.
Carth, don't worry. We'll find a way to stop the Sith.
I hope you're right. But the Republic hasn't been able to stop them so far, even with the support of the Jedi Council. I think Bastila may be the galaxy's last hope.
The sooner we start looking for Bastila, the sooner we find her. Let's go.
Good idea. We can use this abandoned apartment as a base. And we can probably get some equipment and supplies here in the upper city. Just remember to keep a low profile. I've heard some grim stories about the Dark Jedi interrogation techniques. They say the Force can do terrible things to a mind. It can wipe away your memories and destroy your very identity. But I figure if we don't do anything stupid, we should be okay. I mean, after all, they're looking for Bastila, not a couple of grunts like us. All right, soldier, let's move out.
It's then, for the first time being on Taris, that we get to stop and survey the area. The Taris apartment is quite spacious, luxurious even, and has nice seating areas in the western wall where Carth stands, as well as a workbench to the north wall, container, and bedding on the eastern side. Although there appears to be no formal kitchenette or toiletry area, perhaps this is a development constraint, or Taris is into communal living. Heading to the locker to the north, we find 2 computer spikes and 3 medpacks, which will no doubt come in handy. Just next to the container is the workbench, with a handy pop-up that states that we'll be able to upgrade various items including armor and weapons throughout the game. We take a moment to upgrade our prototype vibroblade by adding a vibration cell which adds 1 physical damage. It's all pretty self-explanatory, except save for the lightsaber icon. Regardless, the workbench's upgrade functionality is an invaluable feature throughout the game. With our inventory slightly more stocked and our weapons upgraded, it's time to start our hunt for Bastila. When we go to leave the apartment complex, a pop-up tells us every time we leave the apartment, we must select which party members we wish to take. And seeing as this is the first time we're leaving, we'll have to take Carth. Before we even take a step into the hallway, we witness a scuffle between the locals and the Sith.
Right, you alien scum. Everybody get up against the wall. This is a raid.
There was a patrol here just yesterday, and they found nothing. Why do you Sith keep bothering us?
That's how we Sith deal with smart-mouth aliens. Now the rest of you get up against the wall before I lose my temper again. What's this? Humans hiding out with aliens? They're Republic fugitives! Attack!
Dragged into the commotion, we have to defend ourselves. However, if we throw a frag grenade into the fray, which is a great way of dispatching the Sith and his 2 battle droids, we would damage the Duros. So instead, opt for Carth using his blasters as we test out our newly upgraded Vibro Sword. Poor Ixkill. He should have never talked back to that Sith. Thankfully you were here to step in and help us, human. This isn't the first time the Sith have come in here to cause trouble for us, but hopefully it will be the last. Stay out of my way or I'll kill you too. Forgive me, human, I just wanted to thank you. I meant no harm. I will leave you in peace. Won't someone come searching for the patrol? Don't worry about the bodies. I will move them so it looks like they were killed elsewhere. It should throw the Sith off the track. With any luck, they won't be bothering us again for a while. Before the bodies are disposed of, we're free to loot the Sith and his droids. We find on his backpack a blaster rifle, frag grenade, poison grenade, adrenal strength, and an adrenal stamina stim. Surveying the carnage once more, we can't help but ask the Duros, "Are you sure you're going to be able to handle all of these bodies, including your friend?" And he reiterates, "Thank you once again, human. And as I said earlier, don't worry about the bodies. I will take care of them for you." Gingerly stepping over the corpses, we leave the Duros to take care of the bodies and any incriminating evidence from the Sith. Just south to the right, we find a locked door, which we can attempt to bash in. Honestly, this takes too long, and if you have at least 1 security skill, you can open the door manually.
No problem. Got it.
Inside, we find a sparsely furnished apartment. By the bed stands a woman in a green tunic, and approaching her, she bristles.
Who are you? What are you doing in here? You can't just come barging into someone's home.
I'm sorry, I was just investigating the area.
That's no excuse. You can't just go around barging into people's apartments because you're curious. But at least you're more polite than that pig Holden.
Dia's response is obviously a play on the fact that during the game we will enter many a person's apartment uninvited and rummage around, and honestly it's incredibly rude. Dia does mention a certain Holden. Now, usually we would pursue this conversation further, but as Dia is part of a larger side quest of collecting bounties on the city, we shall save it for its own standalone video exploring the outcomes, good and bad, for Holden's many unfortunate bounties on Taras.
Good. I don't much like strangers in my home.
With that, we depart Diaz. Heading south down the ring, we see a Twi'lek vendor who says,
Well, I don't see too many of your kind around here. Most of the residents in this run-down old apartment are illegal aliens. My name is Larim, by the way.
I don't care what your name is, and I'm not telling you mine.
Look, I know we're trying to keep a low profile, but this kind of attitude will draw attention we don't need.
Hey, I wasn't trying to pry or anything. I know people here like their privacy. It's just I might be able to help you out.
In that case, pleased to meet you, Larim. My name is Dash.
I know it's not really my business, but you look like someone who might need to purchase one of those new energy shields. They're the latest thing, you know? Very high tech.
Just as an aside, this is basically a tutorial on energy shields masked as a vendor trying to hawk them off. However, with all of my time playing Knights of the Old Republic, I never actually fully understood their utilization and functionality, so this is actually quite an interesting little spiel. As superficially, why would anybody use swords versus blasters? But we learn by saying, what's so great about these energy shields?
One, it surrounds you with a radiant or a particle mesh that absorbs blaster bolts. It's pretty handy in a fight. The shield even protects against lightsabers. Oh, so I hear. The shields aren't perfect, of course. They can only absorb so much energy damage before they burn out. And ion blasters will take your basic dueling shield down pretty quick.
And I can tell you from experience that they aren't any good at all against a simple vibroblade. That's why the Republic has been training soldiers in hand-to-hand and melee combat.
Impressive. Where did this technology come from?
I've heard rumors of Achani using shields like this, but I never saw anything like them around here. No, not until the Sith came. Where they discovered the technology is anybody's guess. The shields are too rare and too expensive to hand out to an entire army. But a shielded strike team could take out a whole battalion of soldiers armed with conventional blasters. It gave the Sith a huge edge in the early battles. But it wasn't long before the Republic was able to copy the technology and come up with energy shields of their own. Now both sides are scrambling to come up with new weapons to slash right through the shields. But until they do, you're going to see melee combat coming back to the forefront in this war.
Interesting. Anything else?
There's not much to say, really, except I've managed to get my hands on one of those shields. It isn't cheap, but it could mean the difference between life and death. You want to see what I have in stock? I know, my kiosk, it isn't much to look at, but my prices are reasonable, and the merchandise is sound.
Now, further educated on energy shields, before we look at his stock, we can then learn more about the going-ons in the apartment buildings and ask, why do you have your kiosk set up here?
I run a little shop here in this old building, selling basic equipment to the illegal aliens, renting out these apartments.
You mentioned something about illegal aliens living here.
By law, most aliens aren't allowed to have a residence in the upper city of Tari. They allow a few of us Twi'leks up here, but for the most part, it's humans only. But no self-respecting upper city human would want to live in the apartments in this dump, present company excluded, so the landlord has been renting out the apartments illegally to aliens. Better than letting them sit empty, I guess. Otherwise, you get squatters and people hiding out from the authorities, living in the abandoned apartments, and they don't pay rent.
Aren't you worried about getting caught?
The Dari authorities pretty much turned a blind eye to this place. A few illegal aliens just aren't worth the bother. And once the Sith took over, they felt the same way. Besides, I don't live here myself. I just run a small business, providing supplies to the residents. You want to see what I have in stock?
Actually, I'd want to ask you some questions.
Questions? I'd rather not. It might be bad for business if people saw me answering a bunch of questions for a human. Most of the residents are illegal aliens. Questions are frowned upon. I don't want to lose the trust of my customers. If you really need information, go talk to Kadir, the janitor. He's borderline senile, so all the residents figure he's harmless. They won't mind you talking to him, and he might be able to help you with your questions.
Okay, Laram, you've won me over. Let's see what you have for sale.
No problem. Just step on up and have a peek.
Having a peek, as Laram instructed, we have a look at his wares and end up buying a military suit, which gives us +6 to defense, +3 to max bonus dexterity, plus we can swap out our own military suit so Karth is equipped better as well.
Uh-huh. What?
Now better stocked and informed, we see to the south a maintenance droid, and upon approaching it, it simply beeps in droid speak. Just south of the droid in the hallway, we find another apartment, which, passing a security check, we can unlock.
No problem.
Inside reveals a lone Twi'lek woman in the middle of the room. As we approach her, she begs.
Don't hurt me. Just take what you want. I want to try to stop you.
Happy to oblige the Twi'lek's request, we walk past her towards a bag sitting against the far wall. Inside reveals a med pack, some parts, and 15 credits. It's also worth noting that looting people in a wonton fashion doesn't usually net any dark side points, and therefore there is no real incentive to stop looting and pillaging. Back in the hallway, we come across an Ithorian who avoids.
Sorry, human, but I do not wish to engage in conversation with you. Residents of this complex prefer to keep to themselves.
The next apartment in the ring is back to the upper city of Tyrus, and where our quest will take us to the south side of the city. However, there are still more doors to explore, so moving south once more, we open a security door and find
No problem.
another resident holed up alone in one of the small apartments. The Ithorian, clearly terrified, begs.
Please don't hurt me. I have nothing of value in here. Look for yourself and see.
Next to a chair reveals a bag which contains a computer spike, 4 credits, and a med pack. One man's junk is another man's treasure. Back in the hallway, we find a displaced Quarren who's unimpressed by Taurus's alien policy.
Had I known the Teresian attitudes towards aliens, I never would have come to visit this world. Now I'm stuck here because of quarantine.
Moving further around the ring, we find an open door this time and what appears to be droid parts, perhaps for the utility droids or the rumored senile janitor, Kadir. As we go to leave the utility droid closet, we see another lone female wandering the halls.
Hate this world. They treat us like alien scum. As soon as the Sith quarantine is over, I'm leaving for good.
In the next apartment, which the Twi'lek is loitering near, we find another simple security door to unlock. Inside the empty apartment, by the window, lies a container.
No problem.
We peek over the contents of the footlocker, finding parts, a med pack, and 3 credits. Having ransacked the apartment, we decide to leave and head down the hall and spot the janitor that Larim had talked about. Supposedly, he's the man to see for information, but according to the other residents, he suffers from senility, so we may have to take it with a grain of salt. Approaching the janitor, he says,
Hey there, watch where you're walking, I just clean those floors.
I'll walk wherever I want.
Oh, I get it. You figure that just because I'm a janitor, you don't have to show me any respect. I'm beneath you, is that it?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much it.
You'll change your tune the first time your plumbing breaks down and raw sewage floods your apartment. Then you'll be begging for Kadir to come help you out.
There's no need to antagonize the man. Besides, do you want to live in filth? I sure don't.
Well, we'll see who has the last laugh then. Now, if you ain't gonna be civil, then I got work to do. This place doesn't clean itself, you know.
If we choose to taunt the poor janitor, it will upset him and he'll ignore us, going back to work, cleaning the mess that we've made on his once sparkling floors. If we approach him once more, he reiterates.
Hey there, watch where you're walking, I just clean those floors.
Yeah, well, this place is a dump. You should be fired, you know? Just get out of my way, old man.
Hey, I do the best I can with the equipment I got. You're just like all the rest, complaining about me all the time.
Now, we can continue antagonizing the poor man, though it does loop with the same responses. Instead, we can apologize and say, look, I'm sorry I was rude to you earlier.
Well, all right then, no hard feeling.
In all the back and forth commotion, we actually forgot his name and can ask, sorry, who are you again?
I'm Kadir. I'm the janitor here. Geez, I know you're a new tenant and all, but I didn't think you'd forget me already. I've feelings, you know.
Just as a quick aside, the second answer here, sorry Kadir, I'm not good with faces, may be a right acknowledgement to the fact that Knights of the Old Republic is extremely limited when it comes to NPC faces, and many share same face, well, in what will come to be over this lore play, or if you've played the game, extremely comical by the time you've left Taris. I really am sorry, Kadir. I'm not good with faces.
Yeah, okay then. No hard feelings. So what can I do for you?
Actually, I just wanted to ask you some questions.
Don't know how much I can tell you, but seeing as how you're new here, I guess I can try and help you out.
What can you tell me about Taris?
Decent enough place to live, I guess, except for the lower levels. That's where the swoop gangs hang out. Just stay in Upper City and you'll find. You also might want to check out the cantina. I used to go there when I was younger. A good place to get a drink and find out what's going on in the Upper City.
That does sound like a good place to get some leads. Where is the cantina?
Just keep following the apartment complex ring until you come to the elevator. It'll take you out to the upper streets there. And from there, just head south a ways. You can't miss it.
Where can I get some equipment?
Well, the best place to go is probably Kebley Yurt's store. She's right across from the cantina, so you can stop in for a drink if you get thirsty while you're shopping. Just keep following the apartment complex ring until you come to the elevator. It'll take you out to the upper streets there. And from there, just head south a ways. You can't miss it.
Keebler Yurts. Got it. And what do you think of the Sith in this quarantine?
Not much of an issue for me, you know. I ain't never left Taris, and they ain't never gonna. A lot of other folks are sure riled up about it, but I don't really know much about it. I prefer to keep to myself mostly. But there's plenty of people at the cantina who'll be more than happy to tell you what they think about the Sith and their quarantine.
Well, thanks, Kadim. I better be going now.
I should get back to work anyway. I'll probably see you around. I'm here most of the time. A building doesn't clean itself, you know.
Little quirk about Kadim the janitor that I've noticed on this lore play is that his nameplate does not change to Kadim, nor does it reflect when he tells you that. He's forever relegated to the name tag of janitor as if he is some nondescript NPC, not worth the time to remember his name. So now we've completed the entire ring of Taris' upper city apartments. Meeting the residents, it's clear we're not safe from the Sith here and must continue with our quest. As such, we head back to the elevator and to Taris' south portion of its upper city. First stop being the cantina, and then the undercity to find the crashed Republic escape pods. But that's all the time we have for today. Make sure to like and subscribe for more KOTOR lore videos. I'll be breaking down the entire game. I thought it would be faster, but as you can tell, breaking down every conversation and showing you all options is incredibly time consuming, though I do aim for at least one video per week. But until then, thanks for watching, and until next time, traveler.